PEG Commission meeting to order. It is 6:02. Roll call. I see the three of us here. Check on that. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of
the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Are you taking minutes?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. Approval of the agenda. So you all have a copy of the agenda as drafted. Do I have any additions or corrections or a motion to accept the agenda?
The past minutes, I did not take them.
I will comment
Okay.
when we get to that point.
Sounds good.
So, motion then?
To approve the agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the agenda. Is there support?
There's support.
Okay, we have a motion and support to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. So, the minutes. I took notes, but I didn't realize that I had done that and wasn't thinking until I either had time this evening to put together the draft budget or to do the minutes, and I chose the draft budget. So that will have to be next month.
Sounds good.
Public comment. I think this is the first meeting in like forever that we've actually had someone here from the public. Do you have anything to add?
Sure.
So, if you come up to a microphone, then they'll be on.
Because then
It
you
will
get
be
picked
on the
up.
recording better.
So I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Suzanne Riley. I used to own Century 21 Boardwalk in town here. And so I have the building at 113 Maple Street. And I was looking at doing something with it now that I was retired, and was going to start a venue called the Hub, where holistic understanding begins. And so I had talked to Alyssa about this, and she had mentioned that you guys were looking at using that name. And so I just wanted to officially let you know that I'm okay backing off, keep going. I'm all for what you guys are doing. I love it. I support you. And so I just wanted to show up just to let you know that nothing is holding you back on that.
Nice.
Okay.
That's all.
Well,
Thanks.
well, thank you.
Suzanne, what's your last
I'm sorry?
name? I'm sorry.
Riley, Riley.
And Suzanne?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
That is if we decide to use
If you, right.
Yeah.
SC Hub, but I think, I don't know. We'll see.
We will talk about that.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
so moving on, correspondence. I have nothing there. So a quick director's report. And so normal things are ongoing. So city meetings are getting submitted and uploaded to YouTube and on the website, as well as some of the miscellaneous other things that could get contributed, like the Anekama Township meetings. Since I have been out of town for the month, the Filer Township meeting last month did not get recorded. Their next meeting is tomorrow night. I intend to do that one and get back in that routine. So things are, going smoothly on that front. Other updates I'll leave until we get to the respective things under old business. So that's my quick director's report. Which then takes us to old business, and the first thing is Charter Spectrum. So I am happy to report that Charter has installed the fiber line into the, I guess it's now Manistee Elementary School building. So
That's
we
awesome.
have a line terminated there.
Huh.
Now I'm realizing that there's a lot I don't know, and I need to get with Charter and figure out what next steps are. Because our old system was still analog broadcast. Our new system will be HD digital. So all the equipment that I've got in the old location isn't useful because it's, and I don't, there's no instruction manual that says, oh, this is what you need. But I was reviewing the agreement we signed with Charter last year, and there is a line item in there, PEG Setup HD. So that to me sounds like I should
Tech support.
get some help from them as to, you know, I'm sure there's some equipment and things that we're gonna need. The next item on this list is PEG video encoder install. That sounds like something we
equipment.
need. So FIA installation, I don't know what that means. So I need to be following up. I just got back into town last night, so I haven't done that. But that's a significant milestone because that only took 2 years to get to that point. So that's
Great
my
news.
update there.
Great.
Is there any way to transfer, I mean, it's great that we have digital. Is there any way to also use the analog?
Pretty much everything going to be streamed on either Charter or Spectrum will be digital nowadays. So I don't think there's an option to do that.
Okay. I'll talk to my husband about it too. This is something that he kind of specializes in. It'd be kind of interesting. I mean, because wouldn't that be like a typical, very simple TV that somebody might have, but they might not have Spectrum? They can still watch it with the analog? No?
You need Spectrum to
Okay.
get that signal because it's being broadcast out through them. The other alternative is the YouTube or our website for those that aren't Spectrum customers.
Okay.
So we cover them just through a different platform. So then that takes us to new website discussion. And under that, I think the biggest thing to talk about is the name. So I've had, during the month of February while I was out of town, I had some back and forth with Andy on that. And he introduced me to the hub because I hadn't heard that because we were still waiting for you to get that blessing on that. And I have some reservations, but I'm coming around to liking it the more I dwell on thinking about it. So let me first just kind of talk about my concerns, and I think there are answers to them. It's just we maybe need to be creative to think through them. One is and this is probably just because I'm old-fashioned, I think it's important that the brand name somewhat closely mirrors the URL domain name, which then somewhat closely mirrors the Facebook handle, which somewhat closely mirrors the YouTube handle, which somewhat closely mirrors the Instagram handle, because I see too many businesses and entities where they're all completely different, and it's quite frankly confusing because you don't know how to, okay, and this platform, what am I supposed to type to
Right.
get to it? So I really want something that is easy to remember and is as consistent as we can make it across those things. And I was initially struggling with that a little bit with the Manistee Hub or variations of that.
Can you refresh my memory on the URL?
Well, right now, right now what we have is ManisteeTV.com.
Right.
We could have Manistee.tv if we wanted that. We haven't reserved that or registered that. And we also had reserved Manistee.info with, previous thoughts of that being kind of the brand name. Those are just,
Right.
what is available that can be somewhat consistent across all the typical platforms. Now, having thought about it and kind of where I'm coming around to liking the idea is I was initially kind of, as it was first presented, it was Manistee Hub. And it's like, what's Manistee Hub? It doesn't make any sense to me. But then I really just gravitated to the hub. Just taking Manistee out of it for a second, and it's just like, it's just the hub. And it's just kind of colloquially, something that flows off your tongue easily and is kind of hip, cool, and vague enough that I think it can work. But I think you also, the chances of the hub being available on any of those
Right.
things is going to be zero. So then it's like, but that doesn't mean that from a branding perspective that the hub can't be more the logo, but then it's kind of qualified with the word Manistee. So, the hub at Manistee or
The hub Manistee.
right. So, and then that can then be the URL and the Facebook handle and everything else. But when you go to the website, even though the hub Manistee, you see some cool the hub
Yeah.
graphic.
I
So
agree.
it's like, okay, I get that, and that starts feeling like it can work. So I've come around in the last few weeks, and we haven't had the opportunity as the three of us to even discuss this, and I'm kind of laying out everything I've been thinking about. Probably should turn it over to the two of you to register your thoughts and see if anything I've said resonates or if you're going in different directions.
So I have no direction, which is, right? So I just want to, forward is my only direction. So what needs to nest, right? Like, what are the things that need to nest besides the name, the URL, the Facebook?
I think, platforms that allow you to tag, at sign or whatever the platform's character is. I think that handle should try to be consistent. And if that can also then be the URL, maybe with .com on it or whatever.
Right.
That I think accomplishes everything. And then, how graphically and textually that gets integrated into a website concept.
Sure.
Again, I think the focus is the hub, because for the audience that we're targeting, which is Manistee and county, having the word Manistee in there is almost redundant. It's like, well, yeah, it's Manistee because that's what we are. But so therefore, I think, from a graphical perspective and from a content perspective, just the hub is sufficient, but it's not sufficient to be specific enough to be available on other platforms.
Okay. So in terms of like a Facebook handle, right?
Yep.
I doubt Manistee Hub is probably taken, but,
Correct. I would doubt that.
right. And so,
Someone's watching this.
right, they're gonna take it.
They'll squat it and.
That's how,
Make us pay $9,000.
the story of
Yeah.
JethroTull.com was a big lawsuit. Anyways. It would, like, so if you put a presence there, is it just a redirect to the .com? Or is it like, do you envision the calendar uploading to be like searchable I don't know if there's an API or something
Right.
that pulls it in.
I don't know what the integration points are.
Okay.
With social platforms, and I don't think probably initially there's much other than,
Go here.
go here and,
Yeah.
but I think, again, the concept of the hub and some of these ideas of being that central place for calendar and information, that lends itself to what happens on those social platforms where people are then talking about what happens and what is going on, what's coming up, or what just happened, etc. So I think there are opportunities for integrations, and again, what I see happen too often is people don't think ahead, and then you end up with,
Right.
I just think of, the tourism authority, everyone is a different thing, and they just depends on what year it was created and what
it's
was
very
available, and it's very confusing. I'd like to try to reserve a consistent thing across the top few social / platforms, and to me that's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, maybe X, Twitter. That to me is a little farther askew,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't necessarily hurt to try to reserve something. Beyond that, there's hundreds of other ones, less, you're never gonna get them all, but I think those are, again, for a typical Manistee audience, that's
Yeah, they're exhausting everywhere they're gonna look.
fast.
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram and YouTube are gonna cover 99%. I don't think in our population base, X is as used as it is elsewhere in different demographics in the country, but, so,
And you,
long answer to your question.
no, I get that. So it just like, it doesn't have to be, it's nested across like 4 things, right?
Yep.
And you've checked the who is, I think we did that last time.
Well-
In December, if it's available.
I don't-
Yes, it is.
So what is the
But it'd have to be the Manistee hub, not the hub. Or it could be the hub Manistee, or the hub Manistee County.
It has to be the Manistee Hub. It can't be Manistee Hub.
Can't be just the hub.
Well, it
Can't be just the hub,
But can it be ManisteeHub.com?
Yes.
but then because from a graphic and website, you can't just say hub.
Right.
That just, to me, I guess you can. To me, that doesn't work. The hub, it just
Yeah.
seems to flow a little bit better. So I think you want to keep the in there. So then it's like, is it the Manistee hub? But then you're breaking the hub and
Right.
shoving something in the middle of it, or is it the hub Manistee?
Well, coincidentally, there happens to be the hub of Berry County in Michigan. And I kind of like that because we could still be considered the hub for
Yeah.
just Manistee.
Right. Now,
And
is it the hub of Manistee, or is it the hub dash Manistee? Is it the hub Manistee? I mean, you
Well, you
still
can't
have.
you can't put dashes in the URL, right? So,
No, you can.
oh, you can?
Dashes you can.
Oh.
I don't know if you can on all the other platforms.
Okay.
So it probably would be safer not to.
Okay.
And I don't like dashes because most people aren't going to think about that. But
Yeah.
in some ways, a lot of this is, again, I started off by saying I'm probably just old-fashioned because I still go and type in a URL. Most people just search for it and click on the first thing that comes up and,
Yeah.
let the search engine figure out what that is under the covers. So I'm
Yeah.
old-fashioned in that way. But I just, you do want to kind of keep it consistent at least. So for those people crazy.
I'm
like
also
me.
wondering how much Andy would have a play in this as well. What he's designing,
Mhm.
if he would have an opinion on Facebook.
Well, I mean, I did raise this question to
Okay.
him, and he, you know, concurred that it is desirable to have something consistent. But at that point, you know, he did weigh in one way or another on variations of the hub. So I guess just, you know, kind of an informal poll. The hub Manistee, the hub of Manistee.
I'll tell you what, let me know if you need a tiebreaker. I will,
Well, I guess, I mean, you've mentioned all of these. What are you thinking? I mean, this is kind of you're the one bringing this idea
Yeah.
to us.
I am looking at Suzanne right now because we've talked about for about roughly 7 hours this topic alone. We've done a lot of thinking. Is she allowed to speak to this at all?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you have any ideas?
My only thought is if you're talking with Onekama, Bear Lake, sometimes they can get offended when something's just Manistee. So Manistee County is, I think, kind of important to the outlying areas. The hub Manistee County is, like you said, if you're gonna type in, it'll come up, and then if someone will type in Manistee, it'll come up, and then county, if someone goes to that extent, it'll all come up. And then just to be known as the hub, but, I mean, I know what, Barry, you're spot on, you're right, and it's very confusing when people mix it up. I think as you extend it out, it's okay, because you can shorten it, and then the URL can be longer, but it'll still come up. But I do think the Manistee County thing, because thank you for bringing this up, because I think I'm gonna have to do it with mine too.
Well,
And
you know, from tourism, what's now Tourism Authority, I mean, those issues of other communities in the county viewing they have their own brand and feel swallowed up if everything is just referred to as Manistee because they feel they lose their identity because they view Manistee as being the city proper. We sometimes in the city view that term as being just generic for county, river. Area.
Yeah.
But I guarantee that others in the county don't think that way, so it is a consideration.
Are we also are we going to be listing things from Ludington? Surrounding areas?
I think from an event perspective we will, but I don't think from a identity or who we're targeting we would. Now, that doesn't mean that the concept of the hub couldn't eventually be the hub of Mason County and, you know, kind of more centric on other things. That's clearly outside of our scope, but, you know, having kind of a framework that could grow, you know, isn't a bad thing.
no, and I like the fact that it is the county, because we were originally ideas like from, you know, Frankfurt to, you know, like peer-to-peer or whatever, P-I-E-R. But it is, I mean, Manistee is just in the very southwest corner of a big county, right? All the way to like,
Yeah.
yeah, I like the idea of the county.
And there's so many things that are happening in our northwest section of Michigan that we tend to, I go to Beulah.
Yeah.
But now we're making it more complicated. Why don't we vote for the, like, every, 7 months? Get it.
Now, so the Manistee County hub,
Or the hub of Manistee
Manistee
County.
County,
Or the hub Manistee County. I think those are
the
really.
hub, I like the hub up front, personally.
I do too.
Okay,
But then is there an of or no of?
the hub Manistee County,
Or the hub of Manistee
I
County?
guess when you're thinking about, you know, wanting to truncate your typing, no of.
Even though grammatically it seems like there
Right.
should be an of in there,
Yeah,
so.
The hub.
Say you're a bunch of,
Comma, Manistee County.
I know you can't have
I know,
commas.
but like for
the
the,
hub of Manistee County, that's, if we don't want to be criticized for being grammatically incorrect. Who wants to go to that county? They're grammatically incorrect. Yeah.
Well, if we're all kind of on that page, why don't we take that to Andy and get his input? because he may, for one reason or another, suggest some variant, and
Okay.
we can go from there.
May I ask, if you do take it to Andy, is there any way to get him to keep the project moving forward over the next month without having to reconvene a meeting?
I believe yes, because I think the key is, again, as I'm thinking about this, is the key is the hub.
Yes.
And he can move forward, design.
Okay.
And then these specifics are really kind of just wiring of
Yes.
to domain names and to Facebook handles and stuff.
And, is someone able, if he says, this is what, or he says, yeah, I think you should do this, right? Are we able to go out and grab those URLs without having to reconvene?
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
all right.
Do you want to take that on?
I mean, no, because
Andy?
then it's gonna be registered in my name.
Oh, right.
And I don't wanna be, I don't want you registered in your name either, right? I mean, I don't know how, and I'm not gonna pay for it.
I think initially,
I'll pay for it,
we just,
I mean, I'll buy the first 2 years, but that's.
right.
So Andy should do it.
No, I think I'll do it,
Okay.
once we get that, and then it can get transferred.
Yeah.
To whatever, but I think
You get to
it's
list,
more appropriate for me in my role here than it would be for the.
you can list your events for free for the first 2 years.
Almost jumping ahead to budget discussion.
Okay.
So,
Money.
um,
So if I may.
Yep.
To recap the conversation, someone is gonna reach out to Andy,
I'm assuming that can be you.
okay?
Okay.
With the idea of the hub of Manistee or county.
Of Manistee County.
.com, and let him weigh in with his opinion, but with the hub being central to whatever theme he is designing.
Yep.
And then he is going to say, yes, that's good, and then likely, hopefully, you get that URL and start like finding other places where you want to
Yep.
secure that name.
Yep.
Okay, and that can be done between the next meeting, okay?
Yes, yep.
Perfect,
Okay, good summary. Thank you.
yep.
Any other comments or discussion items on that topic?
Well, yeah, I guess, yes. Are you here we're all here next month, right? Would it be appropriate for him to come back with us with kind of walking us through his work? Because he should have some done.
Think that would make, if it works for him and he's at a point where he has something to share with us, I think that would be a great point
Okay.
in time to do that.
And can you ask him about that too, Alyssa? If he's able to come to the next meeting, which is the, whatever date that is, in April? Awesome. Perfect.
And that's April, what exactly?
I'm not sure.
Oh, wait a minute. I said, yes, I will be here, but.
And, I mean, I'm able to
What
adjust.
date is that?
I don't-
That would be the 6th.
6th, I will be here. 7th, I'm leaving the 7th. So, and I just was thinking, it's like, ooh, maybe not. But, okay, 6th, yes, I'll be here.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay,
That's all I gotta say about that.
good. Then let's move on to budget. So there's not much to put for a budget right now, so, we could just adopt what I've drafted out here because many things will change. The only two things on here that are somewhat known are on the income. We get approximately $4,000 a year from Charter Spectrum based on their 11 cent per month per subscriber in the county fee that they charge that comes to us. And then the other thing is that our contract now with Charter has them billing us $595 per month for these internet line and services.
That wasn't installed?
No, that's,
Oh, they'll start billing now that it's installed.
yes, yes.
So they weren't billing for like the past months where it was.
Correct. So this is basically the budget from July through June
Okay,
of the
this
coming
coming
year.
year, okay.
So, I'm assuming by that time, they will have started billing us. Since that's what our contract with them says. Everything else here is, you know, just some placeholder things. But if you have a commitment of $7,000 roughly in expenses and, you know, only $4,000 in known income, we have sufficient fund balance to cover that for many years. So it's not like that's a problem, and thus the budget shows kind of that plugged in with a transfer from fund balance. But this may not be the time to do it. It may be the time to put it out there for us to think about in subsequent meetings is what sort of revenue model do we view coming in play with what we're trying to accomplish that helps pay for it long term. We've talked of that need.
Yeah, for sure.
We've not really gone anywhere with it. You know, that's the type of thing one would put in a budget. So it would not be inappropriate if we think in this time frame of, you know, roughly 4 months from now through 16 months from now, that we would have figured that out and would be starting to collect some revenue. We should be plugging in a number, even if it's at this point just a guess, because, you know, there's a lot that can change, but that's what budgets are about, is this is our best guess of how things are gonna develop. The only thing you're guaranteed is it won't be exactly like that, it'll be different, but, you know, it's kind of your idea. So right now, I didn't plug anything in because we'd not talked about it, but I wanted to talk about it. So that's the revenue side. On the expense side, I did throw a number in there for marketing, which basically to me means once we have a site, if no one knows about it, it's not going to be successful.
Right.
And therefore, I think, you know, some money targeting, you know, Facebook ads or anything, you know. Again, the audience we're targeting is relatively small in number. You know, roughly it's the population of the county, so roughly 25,000 people. So it's not actually in those mediums expensive to get to them because it's such a narrow market. So there is, you know, some things in there. And do we think that ongoing we will need additional help to manage site, website? Is that handy? Is it something else? You know, and should we plug in something for that? So this is a framework. We could adopt basically what's here now and work on these things going forward and make amendments if we need to, or we could have some of these conversations tonight and, you know, make changes. So I'll stop talking.
I have a question. So first, like, the soonest you can get people like outside of the city to use the site, like, I'll just throw out an example of Northern Naturals music events, right? Like, because they're gonna tell their people, like, you can find it there, right? So they're gonna be marketers for you. Any business or anybody that's posting any event is gonna post it, whatever it is, especially like if people are putting, you know, religious services on there, all those people that go to church, you know, check it out on there. So that's good. That's a good thing, like to get, like, go to phase 2 as quickly as possible. And I don't recall if we discussed with our current contractor, if they do partnerships in terms of, like, I know he said he could do like plugins for like paid services, but in terms of like managing the site and like taking up, like, is there a share? They take a share, right? Like, you know, 10% of whatever it is, the revenue that's generated in return for a service they provide. And I don't know if that's something that ever.
It's certainly not in the scope of what he proposed.
Right now.
And I suspect that's not a direction he would want to go, but doesn't mean we can't have those conversations.
Right.
And I think as he gets more engaged and becomes more of a brainstorming design process as opposed to, at this point, it's like, I've got a website to build and I don't even know what it's called yet.
Right.
I think that will lead to some interesting conversations, you know, along those lines and others.
Right. And I mean, it's not like it's making $100,000 in
No.
ad revenue, right? So the juice may not be worth the squeeze for somebody who's trying to do other stuff.
Right. But, you know, you mentioned ad revenue. I mean, is that a revenue source? Is that we're actively, you know, displaying ads, either in video streams, in web pages, that, I mean, those, there aren't a lot of avenues for local businesses to advertise locally,
Right.
except for national platforms like Facebook or, you know, et cetera, that don't keep your money local. So,
You know what's interesting is like, I'm a cord cutter, right?
Mhm.
So I watch a lot of YouTube, and I've been getting more Manistee ads now on YouTube, like especially the Outsider. Like, at least once a week, I'm seeing an Outsider ad on there.
interesting.
Yeah.
I've not seen any
Yeah.
local ones
They're
yet,
coming up
so-
on my-
I've seen the casino at times,
Right.
but nothing.
Yeah, so I don't know how they're doing it, but anyways.
I need to stop paying for YouTube because I don't get any ads.
Oh, no, I don't pay for it.
Oh,
I mean, I just watch it.
Right, but.
I don't
if-
have Spectrum.
But,
I
But-
pay for YouTube,
but
so I
if
don't.
you pay for YouTube, then you don't see the ads.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't pay, yeah, no way.
I did have an idea where we could maybe, if we got a simple advertising page from Andy, and most of the TVs around our restaurants in the Hampton are smart TVs. And can we just cast an ad to the TVs? You know, with permission from the local owner, of course. But that way, they know that something's coming, they know that they can start advertising on the thing that people are gonna be seeing the most.
What do you mean, I mean, I would think about cast, but what do you mean? Like how, like what's an example of a TV you would want to cast to? Like a city TV?
Like the TV at TJ's.
Oh.
I mean, in general, that's displaying whatever channel they're on, so unless you're advertising on that medium, you're not gonna be displayed. But, you know, what I thought, as you described that is, you know, there is the concept of video kiosks that are, and if you think about a calendar of, you know, coming events and things to do, a simple video kiosk would be appropriate in a lot of different locations that's just showing, you know, a scrolling list of upcoming things to do in the community.
Yeah.
How you insert that into something that's displaying a basketball game, that's a different problem. But I think you open up a very interesting conversation about, you know, avenues that this information could be out there that's different from people just searching for it.
Yeah. Well, of course it wouldn't, like, we would be putting it on the TV when there is no game. Because those would take priority for most business owners. But, like, I can cast a website from my phone to any smart TV.
Yeah.
So we just ask the owner, like, hey, on times when you don't have a game, can you cast it?
But they would have to manually do something.
Yes.
Turn on an app, launch an app, or do something that, in my experience, they'll say yes, but then it'll never happen because you're talking to the business owner and they think it's a good idea, but it actually has to be the person working that shift that could care less because they don't know why they're being
Oh,
asked to do
I'll go
this.
and police it. Just go around town.
But
These
you
are
know,
on.
I think that whole concept of, you know, being kind of an event ticker is interesting and just, you know,
Yeah, like,
what is a way of getting it out, getting that information out there?
like at the airport,
Yeah.
you got a captive audience,
Right.
Yeah,
hospital waiting room,
yep.
you know.
Restaurants, schools, I mean, they have TVs in them now.
Yeah, I ask a question about this?
Go for it. I mean, that's what we're talking about is the budget.
So the cost of the fiber install, that's done, right? That's a sunk cost.
It is sunk and we haven't yet been invoiced for it.
Okay, but you know it's hanging out there
Yes,
as
yes.
well as, and I think Andy he's
I
done.
believe he's paid by now.
By the
That
half,
got submitted
Okay.
in January. Last time I messaged with him, the city had contacted him to get his W-9
Okay.
information so that they could set him up as a vendor, so.
And those are like the two that are out there.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. But all of that should be in the current fiscal year. So again, this budget is looking for
Right.
next year.
But, I mean, this is pretty good, right? The little, like, as
It's-
long as you.
It's just kind of a framework, and I think it's a safe bet, because everything else that we'd want to add in here is something we really don't have much detail on.
Right,
But other things could develop in this time frame. So it's just, I wanted to start that conversation. I was kind of expecting that we don't know. There's too
Right.
much unknown to put a number to anything else. But we need to start having thoughts and conversations.
and the server for the future calendar, the hub, that will be at the school. Or is that like, is that,
I think to be determined.
do you already have the equipment for it? Or do you
Um,
need it, or is it a cloud?
I'm thinking it probably, it really depends on what Andy comes up with. I mean, as a module component that's doing this, if it's utilizing some existing third-party cloud service, then that's obviously where it's gonna be. So technically, we're not at that point
Right.
yet in the design process.
But the potential for it to be like an expense,
Yes.
if it is a cloud,
Yeah.
okay. Something to think about. But there's lots of wiggle room still, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like we're okay with the draft I've put together.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then I'd entertain a motion to approve the draft budget, and submit it to Ed Bradford, for inclusion in the city budget.
I make a motion to submit it.
Okay, is there support?
Approved.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. That takes us to the end of our agenda. Any final thoughts or comments?
Yes, I do have a question. So I know you just did another year, right? And I think I don't know how long my term is. It's probably November, I think, because that would be 3 years. I don't know. And how perishable are we all?
Fluffy.
And do you, like, I mean, it's always, because it's 5 seats, right? I think it is, because it was 7 and you did 5 and make 3, so we would have, or is it 3?
No, I think it's actually 3 right now.
Oh, okay,
Because that allowed us to have 2
Two to
as a
vote.
quorum.
Okay.
Whereas if it was 5, we had to have everybody here.
all right.
Oh,
So it's,
So, yeah, I think we're at 3.
okay, well, that works then.
But I do think, again, one of these things in, roughly the next year timeframe, we do need to start thinking about how we start growing a bit. Because if we can get to 5, that then makes 3 a quorum, and then we can start having conversations amongst 2 of us outside of meetings and it not being a Public Meetings Act violation because 2 is not a quorum. It would really be nice to get to that point.
Yeah.
But but that will require bylaw changes, city council approval,
Right.
and then finding people. So we should always be on the lookout for people who want to start joining us, and then we can start that process.
Yeah, and I think once the calendar, the proof is in the pudding, right? So like, once the calendar is up and operational, the hub, I won't call it a calendar, the hub is operational, you can like, hey, we would like to see this thing, and give people an idea for vision and.
Yeah, no, and again, it's hard to explain to people what we are, have been, and are trying to do. I think once we get something a little more concrete,
Yeah,
and be
for
able to
sure.
show people, it'll help in
Yes.
recruitment.
Okay, thanks.
Okay?
Yep.
Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. I don't have anything else then either, so adjournment would be in order. Is there a motion?
I motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.